In this new video series, we're going to examine several patterns which are featured in the new 0x book, the original big book of pattern puzzles. This book features over 200 8-ball and 9-ball patterns, and each solution contains a full explanation along with the spin needed to execute each shot. In this video, we're going to examine an 8-ball rotation pattern, along with a 5-ball rotation pattern from the puzzle book. We're also going to examine 2 8-ball runouts from the book. In the next video, we're going to break down a complicated 8-ball runout from page 301. In this first pattern, we're going to examine a rotation pattern of 8 balls. Study this pattern and find the best way to run the balls in order. And when coming up with your pattern, be very precise with how you're going to get from ball to ball. When playing rotation games like 9-ball, you always want to think 4 balls ahead in the early part of the game due to the number of balls on the table. So before we pocket the 1 ball, we have to figure out where we need to be for the 3 ball. If we can end up here on the 3, it won't take much effort to get our position for the 4 ball. So we're going to need an angle like this on the 2 ball to send the cue ball to our position area for the 3 ball. And when we shoot the 1 ball, the danger would be in getting too much angle on the 2 ball. Ideally, we would like to end up in this area. Now, there are a couple ways to get from the 1 ball to the 2 ball. One option is to place the cue ball here and send the cue ball off the end rail and toward our position area. This way works, but there's an easier way to get to our position area. We're going to place the cue ball here at a slight angle to the 1 ball and use this angle to move the cue ball toward the top side rail and down to the end rail. Our goal is to leave the cue ball near the end rail, giving ourselves an angle on the 2 ball. And whenever a ball is on the rail or very close to the rail, like the 2 ball in this situation, it won't take much of an angle on it to send the cue ball to our position area for the 3 ball. For instance, even if we end up almost straight in on the 2 ball, we can still get to our position area just by using center with maximum left. Once the cue ball rebounds off the end rail, the spin propels it toward the side rail. Now that we're here on the 2 ball, we can softly roll it in with top left spin to get to our position area. If we have a bit more angle in the 2 ball, then we'll have to use center left using minimum speed. The left spin will send the cue ball toward the side rail. And when playing position on a ball, you always want to determine which side of the ball's pocket line is the danger area. For instance, when playing position on the 3 ball, ending up on this side of the pocket line will make it very difficult to play position for the 4 ball. When shooting the 2 ball, we need to make sure the cue ball ends up very close to the 3 ball pocket line. We could even play it safe and move our position area here to avoid coming up short. Before we shoot the 3 ball, we need to figure out where we need to be for the 5 and 6 ball. If we end up on this side of the 5 ball pocket line, we can use this angle to send the cue ball toward the end rail or the side rail. We just have to make sure we end up above the 6 ball pocket line since we'll be shooting the 7 ball in the bottom left corner pocket. If we end up below the 6 ball pocket line, it's going to be extremely difficult to get to our position area for the 7 ball. And one mistake many players make when playing position from the 4 ball to the 5 ball is that they give themselves a flat angle in the 4 ball and try to come 1 rail into their position area. This way will work if you have the speed of the table down, but it's really easy to slightly miss-hit the 4 ball and either come up short or go a bit too long crossing the 5 ball pocket line. When we shoot the 3 ball, we want to give ourselves more angle on the 4 ball. This type of angle will allow us to softly roll in the 4 ball and send the cue ball off both side rails. By coming off the other side rail, our position area is going to be huge. Once we're on the correct side of the 5 ball pocket line, we need to examine our angle. At this angle, we can use center high to send the cue ball off the end rail for shape on the 6 ball. If we end up with a little bit more angle on the 5 ball, a center high shot will send the cue ball very close to the 6 ball. And when this happens, we have 2 choices. The first choice is pocketing the 5 ball with right spin to widen the distance between both balls after the cue ball strikes the end rail. And the other option is to use a stun shot with a little bit of low to send the cue ball to the end rail and back up for shape on the 6 ball. If we end up with a flat angle on the 6 ball, we can draw the cue ball back for shape on the 7 ball. If the cue ball is here, we can stun the cue ball off the end rail and toward the 7 ball. A stun shot on the 7 ball will give us our shape on the 8 ball. The first 8 ball runout we'll look at is on page 225. Study the pattern and try to find the best way to run out the solids with ball in hand. The key to this pattern is to look for the solids that connect with each other. So the first thing we'll do is find the key ball. The key ball being the solid we'll shoot last to get position on the 8 ball. In order to find the key ball, we'll use the process of elimination. For instance, if we were to make the 4 ball the last solid, then we would need to end up in this area for position on it. And from this angle, we can go 2 rails toward the 8 ball, or go 1 rail for the 8 ball in the side pocket. Now we'll determine which ball we'll pocket before the 4 ball. The 3 ball looks like a good ball to pocket in order to get to our position area for the 4 ball. Shooting the 2 ball first and ending up near the end rail for the 1 ball should give us the proper angle to get on the 3 ball. This pattern works pretty well, but let's see if there's an easier way to run out the balls. If we were to use the 3 ball as the key ball, we would need to be in this area for position. Now we can draw back for the 8 ball in the side pocket. Or we can end up here and use follow to gain position for the 8 ball. So the question is, how do we pocket the 3 solids and get position on the 3 ball? One option is to shoot the 4 ball and draw back to the side rail for the 2 ball. A soft shot on the 2 ball will send the cue ball to the end rail. Now we can roll in the 1 ball, giving us our position for the 3 ball. This runout also works, but it requires 2 draw shots of several feet. So now let's look at the 2 ball as the key ball. We can tell right away that the 2 ball will probably not work as the key ball simply because it's not quite out in the open. If we end up with an angle on the 2 ball for the side pocket, we'll have to go 2 rails for position on the 8 ball, making sure we avoid the stripes. We could end up here in the 2 ball, but if we end up with a little angle on the 2 ball, position for the 8 ball will be very difficult. The runout that was chosen for the solution uses the 1 ball as the key ball. We'll first pocket the 4 ball, drawing back to the side rail for the 3 ball. Once we're on the 3 ball, it's just a matter of killing the cue ball and softly rolling in the 2 ball, making sure we end up near the end rail. Now we can softly roll in the 1 ball and get our position on the 8 ball. This pattern was chosen for the solution since the 3, 2, and 1 ball all connect with each other. Meaning once we pocket the 3 ball, we're automatically going to have the correct angle on the 2 ball, which will send the cue ball to our position area for the 1 ball. If we end up with a flatter angle in the 1 ball, we can use top right spin to send the cue ball toward the 8 ball. Let's examine the rotation pattern on page 91. Study the pattern and figure out the best way to run the balls in order with ball in hand. Look for the pattern that can be repeated over and over again. The black ball represents a blocker ball. Okay, in this pattern, the key shot is getting from the 3 ball to the 4 ball. And one mistake many players make when there's a ball near the pocket is not being as precise as they should be with their positioning. For instance, if we were to pocket the 1 and 2 ball and end up here for the 3 ball, we can still get on the 4 ball, but being accurate with the cue ball positioning isn't easy since we're using a bit of force to send the cue ball back to the lower side rail. Whenever you have to use more power on a shot, it's much more difficult to control the cue ball. In the solution, we're going to give ourselves a little more angle on the 2 ball. This angle allows us to pocket the 2 ball and send the cue ball toward the end rail near the 3 ball. The reason we're playing position this way is because now all we have to do is softly pocket the 3 ball with a touch of running English, and the cue ball will head to our position area. Since we're using a soft stroke and we're near the 3 ball, we can be much more accurate in our cue ball positioning for the 4 ball. At this angle on the 4 ball, I can roll it in with center high and the cue ball will be sent to the other end of the table for shape on the 5 ball. And these are the types of shots you have to develop a feel for where the cue ball is going. When you first approach a shot like this, first determine where center high will take the cue ball. The more angle you have in the 4 ball, the closer to 90 degrees the cue ball will travel after impact. The less angle you have on the 4 ball, the more the cue ball will be sent toward the top side rail. If it's too close to the next object ball, then you can use a touch of side spin to widen the angle. For instance, on this shot, since the angle will take the cue ball close to the 5 ball, I'm going to use a touch of right spin. The next pattern we'll look at is on page 193. Study the layout and find the best runout for solids. Once again, you're going to have ball in hand. In this pattern, there are a few different ways to run out the solids. And in each pattern, we're going to be looking for the runout that has the fewest amount of shots that require precise speed control. And just like in the previous pattern, we're going to use the process of elimination to find the key ball. Let's start with the 4 ball as the key ball. If we had this position on the 4 ball, it wouldn't take much to pocket the 4 ball and send the cue ball to this area for shape on the 8 ball. So now we have to find the best way to get to this position area for the 4 ball. If we pocket the 3 ball and slide over for the 5 ball, we can draw back a few inches, giving us an angle in the 1 ball that we can use to send the cue ball to the bottom side rail. We're going to have to be fairly accurate with this shot to make sure we don't strike the 13 ball or end up too high up on the side rail, making for a difficult shot on the 4 ball. If we make the 5 ball the key ball, we would have to end up on this side of the pocket line to slide over for the 8 ball. Or if we end up on the pocket line, we can draw back for the 8 ball in the top left corner pocket. One way to end up in this area for the 5 ball is to pocket the 3 and 1, giving us this angle on the 4 ball. Once again, we'll have to be fairly accurate when we pocket the 1 ball. If we end up too high up on the side rail, we're going to have to change our game plan. We can also end up here for the 5 ball and draw back for shape on the 8 ball. Or end up on the 5 ball pocket line and roll forward for the 8 in the top left corner pocket. In order to get to this position area, we'll have to pocket the 1 ball, then pocket the 4 ball, leaving the cue ball near the side rail for the 3 ball. Now we can pocket the 3 ball in the corner and get our position on the 5 ball. This pattern will work, but it starts with 2 shots that require very good cue ball control. If we pocket the 4 ball and end up above the 3 ball pocket line, we could be in trouble. The third way to run this pattern out is to use the 1 ball as the key ball. Ending up here in the 4 ball gives us a natural angle to send the cue ball toward the 1 ball. And one way to get to this area for the 4 ball is to pocket the 3 and slide over for the 5 ball, making sure we cross the 5 ball pocket line. Now we can stun the cue ball over to the side rail for position on the 4 ball. But when we execute this shot on the 3 ball, we need to make sure we don't end up here with the cue ball, making for a very difficult shot. We also don't want to end up short of our target area, leaving us no angle on the 5 ball. If this happens, we're going to have to change our game plan. All of these patterns will work, but the pattern that was chosen for the book is a pattern that is easy to repeat over and over again. In the solution, we chose the 3 ball as the key ball. And the reason this pattern was chosen is because the first 2 shots require very little effort to gain position for the next ball. Also, the position window for each ball is larger than in the previous patterns. We'll be pocketing the 5 ball in the side pocket and sending the cue ball to the side rail. From here, we're going to roll in the 4 ball, which will send the cue ball toward the 1 ball. Now it's a matter of drawing the cue ball back a few inches for the 3 ball. Our position window in the 3 ball is fairly large. Once we're on the 3 ball, we can softly cut it in using running English, sending the cue ball 3 rails for the 8 ball. If there's a pattern in this book you would like me to feature in a video, please email me at 0xbilliards@gmail.com.